Pokemon is in a bit of a funny state right now with the release of the brand new Prismatic Evolutions set. I say brand new, came out last month, products look something like this, and for most people, this is what they're getting. Absolutely nothing. But ignoring all that, that doesn't mean you can't still have fun. Just stop trying to collect Prismatic Evolutions, basically. If you can't get hold of them, forget about it. Just get what you like. So, with that in mind, today I'm heading out to the video game market in Leeds. It's being held at the Royal Armouries Museum. Sort of. It's not quite in the Royal Armouries, it's in a hall opposite the Royal Armouries. I'm going there today with my son Killian. He's almost 10 years old. He's not really into Pokemon cards like I am. He likes Pokemon a little bit, but the cards do not interest him in the slightest. Now, I have made a list of some things that I do want to try and get while we're there. Although it's a video game market, there's plenty of card vendors. So first and foremost, the number one card that I want to get is the Chansey Full Art from Twilight Masquerade. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Why do you want a Chansey? Well, because I do. Crown Zenith Pikachu, Sword and Shield Charizard V-Star promo, any Gengar that I don't already own. The other two on my list, both from my favourite Pokemon card set, which is Neo Genesis, the Jumpluff, and the Heracross. Those are my two favourites, obviously apart from the Lugia, but I am not loaded, you know what I mean? If I can at least grab 2 or 3 of these cards, I'll be happy. Enough said, let's get to it and see what I can find. I bought tickets for this event. Now, I wish I'd have booked them slightly earlier because they did have early bird tickets, so we could have got in at 10 AM. The next slot of tickets after that was 12, I think 12. The tickets that we managed to get hold of in the end were for 1:30. It was a good thing that we got there as early as we did because, to be honest, about 10 minutes after we arrived, the queue was huge. It was busy. It was really busy. And you know what? Actually, it was the card vendors that were so much busier than everyone else.
It was 2 seconds, bro.
Yeah, no worries. Umo?
Yep.
You need to hold it up to me. I know you're a bit shorter. I don't have this one. Here's the list that we're looking for, right? So any Gengar, so already got some success. So I made my way around all of the stalls. There was the usual 3D printed crap at a couple of stalls. Why do people do that? Stop doing that. Half of the cards that I actually got today, I pretty much bought from one vendor and they were slightly higher priced than I wanted to pay, but it was reasonable and within the budget. The first thing that I saw that was on my list was a Gengar card, and I managed to get the Sword and Shield Gengar promo. Now, this card is just, I mean, it's possibly the cutest Gengar I've ever seen. It is so cute, I just love the way it looks. As we were walking around, Killian was starting to get a little bit bored of Pokemon cards. Like I already mentioned, it's not really his thing, but he wanted to come with me to the market anyway. So he had a little bit of money to spend, and he ended up buying this super cool Predator figure from probably the worst Predator movie, to be honest. It's not very good. What did you get, Killian?
My first buy, I got a Predator figure NECA.
And he also picks up one of the Joy Toy Warhammer Blood Angel action figures. And the guy that helped us out with it was just super helpful, such a nice guy. He talked us through every single one that he had, all the different models. He was just such a nice guy. In the end, he also gave my son a little bit of discount so that he could really buy the one that he really wanted. And I was really thankful for that.
So they're Blood Angels, Ultramarines and Raven Guard.
I do like the Blood Angel.
So let me rack them up for you.
That's awesome, thank you. I also picked up a bunch of stuff from the Pokemon Celebrations set. I have an almost complete set, and the ones that I'm missing, I don't really know why I didn't get because they're not particularly rare. So we got the Rocket Zapdos, the Surfing Pikachu, the Birthday Pikachu, this awful Claydol, this awful Hydreigon, and this awful Donphan. I don't really know why these 3 cards are in the Celebration set, but they are, and I didn't have them, so now I do. There was one that I really wanted to get today, to be honest, and that is the Chansey from Twilight Masquerade. I don't know what it is. I just think Chansey's cute. I like Chansey as a Pokemon. It kind of reminds me of Kirby, and I'm a big fan of Kirby. Kirby Nendoroid right there that you probably can't see. Big fan of Kirby. So I wanted the Chansey because I just love the card. There was one vendor that I found there, which arguably had like the rarest stuff. They had like the most slabs. The whole stand was on the more expensive side, but you know, what Pokemon vendor isn't expensive these days? I mean, the prices are getting a bit silly, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Have you had enough looking at Pokemon cards?
No, never. They had the Chansey in Japanese, so I almost bought it, but I thought, actually, I came for the English one. I'm not going to buy the Japanese one. I'm just going to keep looking for the English one and hope I find it. Luckily, I did. Here we go. Here's the Chansey from Twilight Masquerade. I don't actually remember what I paid for this card. I want to say it was around maybe like 17 or 18 quid. I think that one is awesome, right? I mean, who doesn't like that card? Tick that one off my list. Very pleased. That was the one I wanted. Now, the next card that I picked up wasn't actually on my list, just like all of those Celebrations cards, which I grabbed while I was there, just because they were there and they were cheap and I needed them. But this next one, first of all, it was priced pretty well. It was a tenner. £10, which I think is good, but I had to get it. And it is also from the same set as the Chansey. Both cards are from Twilight Masquerade, but I had to get the full art pincer. Super cute, really cool Pokemon, really cool illustration. I had to have it. I couldn't leave it there, so I just bought it. As it died down a little bit, because it was so busy, you literally were like squeezed into a tiny gap trying to flick through folders like this. It was just not fun. But a space was open, and that is where I found two more cards on my list. The first card was the Charizard V-Star promo from Sword and Shield. Now, I think we can all agree that this is one of the better Charizard cards out there. It's the counterpart to the Mewtwo V-Star from the same set. It's like a double card, if you like, a double art thing. But I was very pleased to find this one. Now, I think I did overpay a little bit on this. The condition is really nice. Can't really complain overall. And it's one that I've been wanting for a while, and now I have it. At the same time I found the Charizard, the very next page was the Crown Zenith Pikachu. I love this card. It's one of those cards that it's like a celebration of Pokemon, isn't it? I mean, the artwork on it is absolutely phenomenal. It just looks incredible. But this Pikachu I have been after for a little while now, and there we are. Finally have it in the collection. At this point in the day, we were starting to get a little bit tired. We went for some lunch. We decided to sit down in the cafe across the road at the Royal Armouries. We've come out of the market a bit earlier than planned. It's so busy. And they're letting another queue of people in now. It's almost impossible to actually stand and look at some of the stalls. There's so many people there. But we have had some success. So, that's the last of Killian's Christmas money.
I have 20 quid left.
Probably owes that to me for lunch.
Hey!
This top loader looks like it's been melted. I don't know if you can see the corners on that.
Oh.
It literally looks like it's been melted. Pretty successful trip to the video game market where I picked up no video games. While we're here, because we do live about an hour away from Leeds, the Royal Armouries Museum is free. So we're going to have a little wander around in here and check it out. We've been here before, but we absolutely love it.
Absolutely insane.
We're not built for steps, are we?
No. I am.
No, he's not.
Yes, I am!
He's definitely not.
No.
People were definitely a lot smaller back then. Comparison with my hand.
Yeah. Why would you make them so small? Why could fit me?
Yeah, because they're all malnourished. This is me praying for good pulls with Prismatic Evolution. This one is seriously impressive. Craftsmanship on that.
You know each other for 506 years.
Is that how old he is? I think he's older than that.
No, definitely.
1540. Oh no, you weren't far off.
Really?
No, 500 years. Almost 500 years. This guy looks mean. I bet he was a very mean boy. We decided to have a walk around the Royal Armouries Museum because it is awesome. It's one of our favourite places to go. Killian got to hold an assault rifle, which he loved. I just got to look at all the cool swords and armour, the guns, like everything in there is just incredible. If you haven't already been, you need to go. It's free. We went back inside and luckily all of the crowd had just died down a little bit. A few of the vendors were starting to pack up and put things away and kind of get ready to end the day. And there was also an opportunity to go and have a look at some of the stalls that we couldn't really get to before because of how busy it was. There was a little tiny small stall on the end of one of the rows that just had 2 folders of Pokemon cards. So I started flicking through one and it was kind of just commons and uncommons from like Gym Heroes, and a couple of other sets. And then I came across, it was the only one I'd seen that all day, the only one I'd seen all day, but it is one of my all-time favourite cards. I finally found the Jumpluff from Neo Genesis. I've been after this card for quite a while. When I was a kid, I used to have the entire Neo Genesis set, but obviously as you do, you get a little bit older. I think I sold them. I sold most of my Pokemon cards from when I was a kid when Pokemon was like at an all-time low, which is a terrible thing to do. But I finally managed to get hold of the Neo Genesis Jumpluff, and like for the age, I mean, it's not mint. It's actually really clean. Especially on the front of the card. There's a little bit of scratching on the hollow, but other than that, like, the card is super clean. I paid £15 for this, and honestly, it was my favourite pickup of the whole day. So there we have it. I'd say we had a pretty successful day. There was one last thing that Killian really wanted to get. He wanted to get the Warhammer 40k Space Marine game for the Xbox 360 or PS3. We couldn't get the PS3 version because I currently do not have a working PS3. So it was Xbox 360 or nothing. We must have looked around every single game vendor in the market and we could not find a single copy of it anywhere. Until the last one that we looked at, right on the way out, the guy had 1 copy. So Killian ended up getting his Space Marine Xbox 360 game, his Joy Toy Warhammer Blood Angel action figure, and a Predator action figure. And that was pretty much all of his money gone at that point. I managed to get almost every card that I wanted that was on my list, and I still came home with money. I didn't spend my entire budget. It just goes to show that you can still enjoy this hobby. Ignore the Prismatic Evolutions drama. Just collect what you like. If what you like happens to be cards that cost £500-600 plus, maybe in the thousands, well, that's a you problem right there. You don't have to collect those expensive cards. Just collect the cards you like. Forget all the noise. One thing that did irritate me quite a bit while we were there, all of the card vendors, well, not all of them, probably half of them, they did have Prismatic Evolutions. They were selling them for £10 per booster pack. There was one guy that was selling the triple blister pack with the promo card for £32. £32. That is double retail. Double. Some of these vendors might have access to distributors, and some of them probably do. They're getting the Prismatic Evolutions at cost price from the distributor, and then they're selling it at the inflated price to the consumer. It's just not cool. Having them there at the inflated price just put people off. As I was walking around, I could hear people saying like how much they were being ripped off, how stupid these prices were on the Prismatic Evolutions. Some people even refused to give the vendor any money. They just decided, I'm not shopping here because you are trying to rip us off. If you're a vendor at one of these shows, just bear in mind that that is how you look to most collectors. Forgetting all that, it was a great market and I would highly recommend it. On another note, I have managed to get hold of the Prismatic Evolutions binder collection. I did not pick this up at the show at an extortionate price. Don't worry, I got this for retail from an independent play store about 15 minutes from me. I'm not going to sell this for an inflated price. I'm going to open it and enjoy it and use the binder for my collection. In conclusion, I hope that you can all continue to enjoy the Pokemon card hobby as much as I do. And remember, just collect what you like, not what you think you should get. I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel, maybe leave a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you might like to see in the future, and I will see you all really soon.